Welcome back to a new lecture. I'm really glad that you're keeping the consistency with this course because this is exactly what we're going to talk about here. We're going to talk about scheduling and consistency, creating a powerful habit system. Now, now in the course, you will also find an action book that is basically a follow-up sequence for this lecture. It is an action book or an exercise book that you can use to apply the scheduling and consistency methods I'm about to talk about. So make sure that you check out the action book and that you use it. It has been used by a lot of my clients and they have seen tremendous results when they used it. So make sure to check it out and let's get to it. Scheduling and keeping track of consistency is a key factor when it comes to, whether you're going to be successful at implementing and eliminating habits or not. First off, we're going to have a habit schedule. Have a schedule to track your habit, and this will reinforce your accountability. You will find that in the action book. But maybe you don't want to use the action book. Well, you can simply create one yourself. Just draw a table, get a piece of paper and draw a table and write down 21 days. The reason why I said 21 days is because usually it takes 21 days for us to pick up a behavior and installing it as a habit or eliminating a behavior and just kind of moving away from this behavior. So have a schedule where you can keep track of every day where you did the habit or you didn't do the habit you're trying to eliminate. Keep track of that. Because when you see yourself, when you have a schedule and you tape it to the wall and then you see that, day 1 you did it, day 2 you did it, 3, 4, 5 days in a row you did it. And then on the 6th day, you're feeling, you're not feeling really the motivation. You don't really feel like doing it. This piece of paper is going to be right in front of you. Put it somewhere you can see it so your brain is getting familiar with it. And when you look at it and you see that you've been doing great, that you've been going strong for 5 days, you might be able to find this little push of motivation that you need to keep going. And the first challenge, the reason I say it's a challenge because it is a challenge. You are challenging yourself. It's not easy to change habits. It's not easy to eliminate habits. It is a challenge. And if you really want it, you got to get ready to challenge yourself. Because I'm pretty sure that if you make a firm decision, you got everything it takes to overcome the challenge and ace it. Keep track of the habit schedule and keep a habit schedule going for each and every habit until you have a 21-day streak. Until you go 21 days where you do the habit. And then once that happens, you can get rid of the schedule and then you'll see that you're doing the habit automatically. You don't need a schedule to remind you anymore. It's engraved in your head. And if after, removing the schedule, you feel like you're slacking again and you're not following up with the habit, go back to the schedule. Do it again, but this time increase it. Go 30 days and then repeat. Doesn't work? Do it again. Let's do 60 days, right? And you keep going until the habit becomes a lifestyle. Now, another important thing is having micro and macro goals. This is one tiny idea that most people miss out on, but it's crucial to your success. You need to have a minimal goal to stick by and an ultimate goal that you want to work towards. So let's say, I'll give you 2 quick examples. You want to meditate. You want to start, enhancing your spiritual side and you want to start meditating. So people, they set the habit of saying, okay, I want to meditate every day for 20 minutes. And it's not easy to discipline yourself and meditate every day for 20 minutes when it's a fresh new habit, right? Now, you can outsmart it. You can have a minimal goal and you can have an ultimate goal that you work towards. So if you meditated for 20 minutes the first 3 days, and then the 4th day you were kind of tired and you can't find the discipline to sit down and meditate for 20 minutes, it's okay. Do not tyrannize yourself. Listen to what I'm about to tell you. Don't tyrannize yourself. Don't beat yourself up. Negotiate with yourself. And I'm going to talk more about this concept soon, but bear with me. Now, the goal is to meditate for 20 minutes a day. And on the fourth day, you're kind of tired and you don't really feel like it, right? Well, you have a minimal goal. And this minimal goal, you need to promise yourself that no matter what happens, that at least you'll be able to keep up with this minimal goal. And you'll get to set this minimal goal yourself. What do you think is, an amount of time that is fair, that no matter what's happening or how you're feeling, you'd be able to at least keep up with this minimal goal? Maybe instead of meditating for 20 minutes, you'll meditate for 5 minutes, right? Now the goal is kind of smaller, it's easier to do, but at the same time, you are keeping up the consistency of the habit. Another example would be reading. Let's say you're aiming to read 50 pages every day, right? You set a goal, I want to start reading, and I want to read 50 pages every day. Now, on the 7th day, you're tired. You had a long day at work, you come back home, and you just want to rest, and you're just tired, right? Well, it's fine. You don't have to read 50 pages. Set a minimal goal, but keep the consistency going. Instead of reading 50 pages, read 5 or 10. Now it's easier to do that, right? Even if you're tired, even if you just want to get to bed and rest, you can sit in bed and you can read 5 pages. It'll take you 10 minutes. But this way, you'll keep the consistency going. Which brings us, of course, to the consistency. Do not aim for perfection. Now, I'm going to talk more about this in a second. But do not aim for perfection. Most people, when they pick a habit, they say, all right, I'm going to start doing this habit every single day for the rest of my life. And they're 20 years old. I'm like, there is no way you're going to keep doing this habit consistently every day for the next 60 years. I don't know how long you're going to live. There's no way you can do it. But what you can do is you can keep track of the consistency. There is a certain way to calculate your consistency rate, and it all depends on, what kind of habit schedule you want to follow. So I'll give you a quick example for you to understand it. Let's say you want to start reading more, right? It's an example that I already gave. So you want to start reading more, and you set up the schedule for 30 days where you want to read 30 pages every day. Now, you did it the first day, you did it second day, third day, you did it all the way up to the 5th day, and then, you skipped a couple days. And then you went again for another 6 days, and then you skipped another 2 days. All that to get to the end of the 30 days. And let's say at the end of the 30 days, you were able to read the 30 pages 22 days out of 30. And the 8 days remaining, you didn't really do any reading. Now, the consistency rate is calculated based on a percentage. So every day, when you do the habit, you give yourself 3.3 points. You divide 100 divided by 30, and you get a number. And every single day when you do the habit, you give yourself the points. This is why I'm saying it's a challenge, it's a game, right? You want to accumulate as many points as possible, but do not aim for perfection. So let's say you did it the first month, and your consistency rate was at 73%. Now the next month, you're aiming to either keep it at 73 or increase it. So next month you get to 76. Then the third month, you stay at 76. Then the fourth, you get to 84. And, you can keep up the consistency, but you need to set a minimum consistency rate. So let's say you want to have a minimal consistency rate of 50%. You don't want to drop below 50%. And if you want to take it a step further, those 8 days that I told you about where you didn't read, well, these are the days where you can use the minimal goals. Instead of reading 30 pages, you read 5 pages. And when you do the minimal goal, you still give yourself points, but you give yourself half the points. So if you're giving yourself, let's say, 3.5 points every time you read 30 pages a day, and you read 10 pages, you give yourself half of that, right? This way, you'll be able to keep up with the consistency. And when you keep up with the consistency, you'll be able to see the progress. And when you see the progress, you will get more motivated because you can see yourself improving, which is motivating. You feel good when you see yourself improving and succeeding and overcoming the limits that you weren't able to overcome before, right? So keep track of your consistency rate. Do not aim for perfection. Aim for consistency and monitor your improvement. No matter what happens, set a minimum consistency rate that you want to stick to and make sure that you can stick to that consistency rate and then work on improving your consistency rate every month, getting better and better. And if you're not getting better, at least you're not going backwards, right? You have a minimal consistency rate and you're going to stick to it no matter what happens. So even if you have a bad month where you weren't able to improve, at least you didn't move backwards. You maintained the progress that you made so far. And in that, you can see tremendous success when it comes to changing your habits. I hope you all enjoyed this lecture. And again, make sure to check out the action book that's available in this course to use it because it can be really helpful. As I said, it was used by a lot of my different clients and it worked and it really had tremendous results on them. I even use it myself every day. So make sure to check it out. And the consistency rate in it, you can tailor out your own system depending on, what you want as a goal and on the different habits that you have. But make sure that if you don't use the action book, that you have a habit schedule and that you calculate your consistency rate by yourself on another piece of paper and stick it to the wall or put it somewhere where you would see it so you can keep your mind alerted and focused on the goal.